Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. I will present a comprehensive and marketing strategy for UMass, one grounded in Leonard Berry's foundation model. This proposal centers on a simple but powerful idea. Before we can create an exceptional customer experience, we must first cultivate an exceptional employee experience. Throughout this presentation, you will see how internal culture, job design, communication systems, and leadership behaviors align to form a service driven organization. My goal is to demonstrate that UMass can differentiate itself not only through its cuisine, but through its people. Endomarketing, at its core, it's the discipline that connects the internal and external realities of an organization. It reminds us that customers only feel what employees first experience. If employees feel informed, motivated, respected, and aligned with the organizational mission, they naturally transmit that quality to customers. In the case of UMass, this is especially important. As a service based business, the emotional labor and human interaction delivered by employees is inseparable from the customer experience. A dish can be excellent, but without internal alignment behind it, the experience becomes inconsistent. And the marketing allow us to create a systematic approach to building an internal culture that directly supports external value creation. It positions employees not as tools, but as strategic partners whose experience determines the brand credibility and authenticity. This philosophy sets the stage for the model I will use today, Leonard Berry's model. Leonard Berry teaches us that organizations must treat employees as internal customers and must treat jobs as internal products. This means a job is not merely a list of tasks. It is something that must satisfy the functional, emotional, and symbolic needs of the person performing it. At UMass, many of the operational issues turnover, burnout, inconsistent service are symptoms of internal products that have not been intentionally designed. When roles are unclear, tools are insufficient, training is inconsistent, and recognition is absent, the internal customer becomes dissatisfied. Barry's model gives us a language and a structure to diagnose and repair these internal failures. It reminds us that if employees are respected, supported, and given meaningful roles, that sense of value flows directly to customers. This is why Barry's model is the most appropriate foundation for transforming human culture. Barry's model is not theoretical. It has been applied successfully by some of the world's strongest organizations. Southwest Airlines built its entire culture around the belief that employees come first. This internal focus creating unmatched customer loyalty and operational consistency. Ritz Carlton, meanwhile, created a culture of dignity and empowerment where employees are trusted to resolve customer issues with autonomy. Zappos used various principles to design roles that celebrate human connection rather than rigid scripts. And Starbucks is perhaps one of the clearest examples of treating employees as internal customers. Training investments, career paths, rituals, and language create a work experience that directly shapes the Starbucks brand. These cases demonstrate one truth: exceptional service is the result of exceptional internal culture, and UMass has the opportunity to follow the same path. When we examine UMass internal reality, we see a pattern of structural issues that directly affect service quality. Internal communication is fragmented. Training is inconsistent or non existent. Roles are ambiguous. Employees feel overwhelmed and unsupported, leading to turnover and burnout. These issues are not random, they are indicators or interval products that have not been redesigned to support growth. As Very would argue, the dissatisfaction of humans' internal customers naturally leads to a weakened external experience. If humans want to stabilize operations, strengthen its culture, and ensure consistent service across locations, the solution must begin internally. The goal is not merely to fix symptoms, but to build a system where employees feel aligned, supported, and proud to deliver the human's experience. The model visualizes the root of the problem. On the left, we can see that what employees fundamentally need: training, clarity, communication, recognition, tools, and cultural identity. On the right, we see the current reality. None of these needs are fully met at UMass. The consequence is what Very calls internal product failure. When employees do not receive the internal service they require, they cannot deliver the external service customers expect. The failure cascades. Internal product failure becomes for service experience, which becomes low differentiation in a competitive market. This model emphasizes that the customer experience is determined long before a guest enters the restaurant. It begins with how employees are treated, supported, and equipped internally. Improving this internal product is essential for rebuilding trust, consistency, and service quality. To solve Yuma's internal challenges, our strategy follows six interconnected pillars. First, we reconceptualize employees as internal customers. Second, we redesign jobs as internal products with high functional and emotional value. Third, we embed a culture where differentiation comes from human capital, not just food. Fourth, we elevate internal service quality as a strategic priority, not an operational detail. Fifth, we build internal branding so employees feel identity and pride. And finally, we rebuild communication, empowerment, and recognition systems to sustain culture. Each of these steps is written in various model and supported by successful real-world application as we mentioned. Together, they establish a people-centered structure that allow humans to scale while protecting its cultural authenticity. Our first strategy, internal customer segmentation, acknowledges that not all employees have the same needs. Segmenting internal customers, just like external ones, allow us to design more precise and effective internal products. Kitchen staff needs stability, safety, and workflow clarity. Service staff needs emotional training, empowerment, and communication support. Hosts and cashiers need queue management guidelines and stress reduction. Managers need leadership and cultural capabilities. By recognizing these distinct needs, we avoid one size fits all solutions and instead build a system tailored to the real internal diversity of the team. This segmentation is the first step towards truly satisfying internal customers. Our second strategy, internal product redesign, means rethinking every job at UMass so that employees feel supported, capable, and valued. This includes standardized SOPs, comprehensive trainings, ergonomic tools, and cultural immersion models that strengthen service authenticity. Redesigning internal products also means empowering employees with autonomy and service judgment. When employees feel trusted and capable, their confidence translates directly into the customer experience. Cultural immersion is critical here. UMass is not only selling food, it's selling meaning, history, and identity. When employees internalize that meaning, customers feel it. This cycle of the internal product excellence explains how internal product quality becomes competitive advantage when roles are well designed. Employees feel satisfied, they understand expectations, they feel emotionally engaged, and they have the tools they need. Satisfied employees deliver superior service. They show empathy, consistency, and cultural authenticity. That level of service is extremely difficult for competitors to replicate. And this is where human differentiation emerges, not from the food alone, but from the quality of human interaction. Berry describes this as human capital differentiation, where your people become the signature of your brand. This is the ultimate goal of the strategy. A strong culture requires a strong communication ecosystem. At UMass Communication, we must move in all directions, top down for clarity, bottom up top for feedback, and horizontally across locations for consistency. Weekly bulletins, team meetings, and training channels create rhythm and transparency. Internal communication allows employees to feel seen, guided, and included. This is also how culture is transmitted through language, stories, and rituals and shared meaning. Communication becomes the bloodstream of the organization. And well, here, as we come to the end of this presentation, I want to highlight the central message underlying this entire proposal. Service excellence does not begin at the table, it begins behind it. What customers experience at Yuma is a direct reflection of what employees experience with Yuma's. This is how UMass moves from managing a restaurant to cultivating a brand. This is how differentiation stops depending on the price of food alone and begins to emerge for something far more difficult to imitate: the human authenticity and emotional commitment of its people. If UMass investment in its internal customers, those employees will naturally and powerfully become ambassadors of the brand. And when that happens, customer loyalty is not something we chase, it's something we earn. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you have learned something today about how solving a case like UMass with an end marketing model like the one from Leonard Berry. Thank you very much.